Bassmaster Tournament Trail is presented by Bush.
I wish we had tickets because you could hold on to it because you've made history tonight. In a number of ways, not only from a record crowd for an event we've ever had outdoors, but also this is the first Elite 50 in the history of Bass. Thank you for being here tonight.
As Bass General Manager Dean Kessel put it, history is being made at the final day weigh-in of the first E-50 ever on Lake Dardanelle. 7,000 plus bass fishing fans have followed the proceedings as we trim the field from the Elite 50 down to the Super 6 on this final day. We promise you two things today, and one is to show you how this exciting day unfolded. The other is that professional bass fishing will never be the same. Well, round one of our Elite 50 competition is coming from here, Lake Dardanelle, Russellville, Arkansas, on the Arkansas River. The Arkansas River, which has seen some pretty fantastic Bassmasters competition in years gone by. This is the first tournament, however, on this impoundment right here. A beautiful place framed by the mountains. We are ready to go. I'm Tommy Sanders, and that crowd that is amassed there, well, they're just going to have to wait for a little while for us to take a few minutes and bring you up to speed on what's happening with this Elite 50. Well, they qualified for 2 days before the field was cut to 12 on day 3. Lots of firsts this week, one being that the star-studded dozen started their day at 10 a.m., ended at 6. That is new. 20 all-time money winners on the bass circuit. They are here. 27 anglers with the most points over the past 3 years. They are here. The current Angler of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Classic Champ. They're in the house, so the 50 are definitely elite, and they include this guy, Gary Klein.
I need 4 more like that today, and I'll have a good bag.
Well, Klein couldn't capture 4 more like that one, and superstar Kevin Van Dam, well, he looked sharp at this moment, but neither could hang in for that final day. Now, just take a look at who did miss that cut. 2 Classic Champs, 4 Anglers of the Year. In fact, win or lose, get ready to see recognizable names, though, throughout the E-50 series.
Maybe a keeper. If it is, it's a spot.
He has been hot throughout the year. Greg Hackney keeps pouring it on during day 3 and surprises no one by making the finals.
Time to go. I need 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
And a unique course format frustrates Greg, but only for a moment as he goes toe-to-toe with another youngster, Randy Howell.
1 hook. Look at that. Tick. Don't even know where I'm at over here, and I just catching them everywhere we go. If they ain't biting, it's good for everybody.
No, it wasn't that good for all 12, but these 6 survived and carried their weight into today's finals. 5 young bass fishing studs and 1 veteran of over 30 years of bass tournament fishing experience, Zell Rowland. They're going to be duking it out today, led by Randy Howell, a man in the lead, a 3-pound lead over his nearest rival as they get ready to hit our 6-hole course fashioned from Illinois Bayou here on Lake Dardanelle. And guess what? The fish is in the house. We got Fish Fishburne here to help with the analysis. Great to have you here, Fish.
Tommy, I'm ready. Thanks for having me.
Oh, glad you're here. Let's talk about this 6. What strikes you about our 6 finalists?
Well, look at the 6 finalists and look at the age of these guys. Zell is pushing that, but he is the only guy to qualify off of the all-time money list. And there's a rivalry within this competition. There's anglers trying to see who's going to come out on top coming from the points list, or is it going to be the all-time money man?
All right, we're going to find out as we get ready to send these 6 into battle for one final day. One day, and we get a visit from the Arkansas Executive-in-Chief. That would be Governor Mike Huckabee, and it went so well, he was persuaded to, well, take over the show.
Hi, this is Governor Mike Huckabee from the Bassmasters Trail Elite 50 Bass Tournament in beautiful Lake Dardanelle State Park in Russellville, Arkansas, where the top 50 fishermen of America have gathered. And what an awesome experience it's been. Now down to the final 6 fishermen who will be going for the really big money. Kelly, you've been here now several days in Arkansas, had a chance to fish the waters of Dardanelle.
Right.
What's the key to fishing this lake successfully?
Well, it's always, the biggest key I always find is to find the fish. That's the
Boy, that's profound. You know, that is profound.
That is a profound, and
you can write a book on that right
You could,
there.
finding the fish.
Tell me, though, if you had a tackle box, you could only take 3 lures with you today. That was all you could take. What would be the 3 lures you'd take out to Dardanelle?
I would take probably my jig, my Rattle and Rascal jig. That's what I'm catching most of my fish on, and I'd have a little square lip crankbait and maybe a tube.
I really love, you know, to fish the Arkansas waters. You know, you guys have done a really good job of managing the resources. They've got good quality fisheries, and I really love to fish them.
Brent didn't have a clue who I was, and so we had the state police put him in custody, hold him for 3 days, and review photos of me at every different angle. And after that, Brent's pretty well familiar with who I am at this point, so.
Just being in the Elite 50 tour this week was enough to make me excited, and now making it to the finals and actually be leading and having a chance to win is just more than I can imagine.
Well, I'd say school's still out on the governor's performance, wouldn't you?
I think your job could be in jeopardy.
It could be in jeopardy. Maybe I'm in a holding pattern right now. But the event is the thing, and we are just about ready to send our 6 finalists out on this championship day out onto Illinois Bayou and our 6-hole course. And Jerry McInnes is standing by to tell us what that course is all about.
Tommy, you're right. Illinois Bayou has been turned into a 6-hole course, and the anglers will have an hour and 20 minutes to fish in each hole. Then they'll rotate. They're going to do that all day long until they've fished each one of the holes. And every one of the holes have got 2 important ingredients. Riprap, which is the rocks that are piled against the highways and the bridges, and grass. Every hole has some grass in it, and that's where the fish are spawning. And a little FYI for you, on day number 3, hole number 4, way in the back, was the most productive hole. Produced 14 keeper bass. 13 keepers came out of hole number 6, which is way in the front, and hole number 5, that kind of stunk the place up. It only produced 4 keepers all day long. Ironically, that's where our leader, Randy Howell, starts today.
Well, when we come back, we'll see how significant that 3-pound lead by Randy Howell is, see how he does, plus we'll see one of the most dramatic fish catches we have ever had. Don't go away.
Well, the governor didn't come over and talk to me, but I guarantee Tommy Sanders would have came over and talked to me.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Citgo. And in part by Busch. By Purelator. And by Triton Boats.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tour presented by Busch Beer, the very first Elite 50 tournament series, a 4-tournament series. This is Tournament 1, Round 1, and it is finals day. 6 anglers fishing our 6-hole course right now. Randy Howell is the man in the lead. We're going out to the guy who's starting in hole number 1. This is Kenyon Hill swinging a jig.
It's cool action in water, a lot different than you'd ever think of a jig before. And you reel it medium to medium fast. And that's how a lot of these guys are all catching fish through this grass, is fishing it kind of quick, keeping it coming. And it'll wear you slick at the end of the day, but man, it's a cool way to catch them. They come up and just whack it.
What do you think of that technique, Fish?
Unbelievable. The jig, swimming the jig, we call it. You can see when he brings it, there's a fish right there over the top of the grass, and they come barreling out of there and just inhale the thing as it goes by. It's either eat or be without.
Take a look at our scoreboard there. Hill scoring. We always represent our leader at the top with his total pounds. Everyone else represented by how many pounds they are behind. Really makes that jig go fast through there when he swims it.
It does, and a lot of guys will bring it to the edge of the grass and kill it, but here are the conditions with the falling water. They're going to keep it moving and hope that the fish get it off the surface.
Over to hole 4, and Greg Hackney has not won this year. He's been successful. Here are his thoughts at the take-on.
Yeah, I got a shot to win. You know, I'm going to fish to win today. I feel like maybe in the past, maybe I haven't done that. I'm going for the gusto. You know, I feel like I'm on the fish to win. If they bite me, I'll win. If they don't, I'll finish down the line.
Greg Hackney from Gonzales, Louisiana. Although he's from Arkansas, take a look. You can see the fish there.
You see this fish, Tommy, he's sitting on a bed. He's guarding the eggs that have been laid by the female. It's probably a male bass staying in such close proximity to the bed. The little light spot there, he's fanned that out. There's no grass in there, so the eggs can receive multiple times through the sunlight. They want to get in there, be able to hatch these eggs. Now watch him. He's made about the 4th or 5th cast that we've seen. Oh, he swallowed it. You see him grab it?
Get in the boat. Thank you. He's hooked in the mouth.
Well, with that, Greg Hackney pulls within 1 pound of Randy Howell. Another angler doing very well today, Brent Chapman. And Brent, I wanted to ask you to compare today to day number 3.
Well, one, it's pretty obvious the wind's blowing a lot stronger than yesterday, which typically, you know, that should stir up the water a little bit and make these fish a little more aggressive. But so far, that hasn't seemed to have been the case. But also, the water's about 6 inches higher. And once again, that's a factor that should make the fishing a lot better, but it seems like, I don't know if it's scattered the fish out or what's happened, but you know, it might just take me a little bit to figure out the adjustment. And you know, I think whoever adjusts to the change in the fish, you know, the quickest today is probably going to come out the winner. So we're just going to keep trying and try to figure them out here.
Well, Brent, you know, you've only got an hour and 20 minutes to accomplish that. I've got a question for you. If you pick your holes, do you want your best holes first, or do you want to save some of those choice spots for later in the day? How did you pick them?
Well, I picked it to where, you know, hole 4 is the best hole. I wanted to fish it as late as I could, so I think I'm in there at like 4 o'clock this afternoon. You know, typically you'd want to start in there, but starting at 10 o'clock, usually, you know, that early morning bite's going to be slowing down by then, so I'm going to try to pick up on the evening bite in hole 4.
Brent Chapman in hole number 6 at the moment. Here's our leader, Randy Howell. Randy Howell at the moment, he's fighting car traffic, he's fighting missed fish, everything's going on in hole number 5.
Oh, man, you see that bite? Good grief.
I'm thinking, Tommy, he's got a group of fish located right here. He's missed. That could have been the same fish, but he'll keep throwing that jig and swimming it. Of course, a white jig. Oh! There's another mishap. He may lose a limit of fish right here.
I don't know what happened there. He just didn't get the hook good, I guess.
Back over now to Greg Hackney. Now he's a mere pound away from catching Randy Howell for the lead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, baby. Stay hooked up. Come on. Oh, come on. Don't come off. 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 Don't come off.
Well, with that fish, check it out. We have a new leader, Greg Hackney, and the spawning fish getting it done for him.
Hey, he's a great jig fisherman, but to make the E-50s, you've got to be well-versed in every technique. Hackney, don't count him out when they're bedding with a tiki stick.
Yes, sir. Get me a big female in here, maybe.
There he is. There's a good one. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Woo. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's my 4-pound bite I've been looking for all week. Praise the Lord. Look at that, baby. Don't that make you want to get up off the couch and go fishing?
I got news for you. It makes me want to sink deeper into the couch and watch this race unfold. Hey, Randy Howell right now, he's regained control of this thing.
Kelly Jordan, he's on his way to hole number 3 to start period number 2. 0 points so far, 0 pounds for Kelly, 0 for Zell Rowland, nothing yet for Brent Chapman. Hole number 2 is one of the better ones on day number 3, and that's where Kenyon Hill leads. Citgo Bassmaster Tour presented by Busch Beer and the very first Elite 50 Series, round 1, and we are about to find who's the champion of the first round today. Our 6 finalists on our 6-hole course have finished 1 period of fishing. Randy Howell, who came into the day with a 3-pound lead, has had his lead cut into by ½ a pound by Greg Hackney. We're about to start period number 2. What are these guys doing on the course, Jerry?
Well, this course format is such a challenge to these guys because it puts so much emphasis on finding fish. Now, each one of these holes probably a ½ a mile square, and there's fish in maybe 1 or 2% of all that water. So that means they better find them, and they better find them in a hurry. Hole number 6, Randy Howell caught 5 bass there on day number 3, and that's the hole he's rotating into. Kelly Jordan, on the other hand, is moving into hole number 3, and he only caught 1 fish there on day 3.
Yeah, Kelly Jordan needing hole number 3 to pay off for him. A lot of anglers scored keepers out of this hole on day 3 of this tournament. He's got one on.
You'll notice Kelly Jordan is paralleling the riprap just like the rest of the crew here in the final rounds. He's reaching down. He's going for. Looks like it could be a keeper. Tommy, it looks like a crankbait, probably a Lucky Craft crankbait that he's throwing parallel. And you got to remember something. These guys are using a locator bait like a crankbait because they haven't had a chance to fish in these holes. Prior to the competition, they were off limits. And yesterday, of course, the first time most of these guys had seen it.
Kelly's crew doing a good job of following him hole to hole. They're faithful, and they are staying with him today. Over now to Zell Rowland. He has been tournament fishing since he was 13 years old.
It's unbelievable the experience he has. And now he loses a fish right here. Just as we're talking about the amount, the age, the time he spent on the water. And Zell Rowland tried and true. He won an event with the Citgo Bassmaster Tour last year.
That was a nice one. That was a nice one. Well, if we caught them every day, it wouldn't be no fun.
All right, hole number 6, surrounded by the Bass Expo. That's where the weigh-in is. So Randy Howell has plenty of company right now. He likes an audience.
Oh, yeah. This is the windiest one here, I think. I've caught one big one and a bunch of little ones. There's one right there. Come on, let this be a keeper.
He's never won a Bassmaster event. Randy Howell is a young man in his 30s. There's his wife, his kid, all watching. This has got to be so exciting for him, Tommy.
Wife Robin, son Laker. Randy has had 7 top 10 finishes. Never been in the winner's circle with BASS.
He is so wound up. Let's just hope that he can contain himself because, you know, the anxiety level increases as the day grows long with only an hour and 20 minutes on each hole.
Got that hook.
Oh, this spot was great for him on day number 3, and it's starting to pay off again.
Got one hook in his mouth. Look, Laker. Big bass. I think he is. I'm gonna measure him and see. I think he's a keeper. Oh, yeah. Right in front of my wife and little boy. He can't beat that. Look, buddy, big bass. Woo, that's why I was babying him, man. You always catch one on the rocks. You always play them easy because your line might be frayed. Just like that. Watch this. How easy that broke. That's why I baby a 2-pounder.
Tommy, he's having too much fun out there. I just don't know if he can maintain that energy level.
Well, I tell you what, catching him in front of his family there. Wife Robin, a good angler as well. Over to Zell Rowland.
There is a keeper fish. Remember, a 15-inch size limit. Is this going to move him up? Right now, probably not, but it's a start for Zell.
I got to ask you, Fish, is some anglers more suited to this type of format than others?
I really don't believe so. Tommy, you know, an old format that BASS had years ago, the Mega Bucks format, was really the only time these guys have fished against the clock. Remember, they're not fishing against each other. The clock is the key.
We're going to move over, pick up Kelly Jordan one more time. Looks like he's got a fish on there, but it really is an exciting format for us as viewers because we get to see these anglers fish, in some cases, the same blade of grass. We get to see 3 different anglers hit it and find out which one can catch the fish there.
And the question is do you fish behind the angler that has just been in a hole before you? Do you watch where he goes? Did he catch fish there? Or do you deviate off the beaten path and try to fish little subtle areas that haven't gotten pressured? You can see they love this riprap, though, and that's a great fish for Kelly Jordan.
Lost a good one on the point back there, Steve. There he is. Oh, he just pulled off. Dang. They're just nipping at it. They don't want to eat it. I don't know why. There's one. Be a good one, be a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one, boys. Come on, get up out of that grass. Get up out of that grass. Get up out of that grass. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Here we go, come on. Hope that line isn't frayed. Come on, baby. Come on, XT. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Get away from that marker buoy. Oh, man, he jumped on that side of the boat. Here we go. We got him now. We got him. We got him. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Come to me. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Praise the Lord, I'm shaking. Had to let them see this little bait one time. It's about a maybe 4-pounder. Good God Almighty, that's awesome. He made me run all over the place. Let's check my line, watch. Let's see. Why you baby?
We're coming right back. We got some more time left in period number 2. Brent Chapman enters the pocket. He spotted on day number 3, but didn't have time to fish. Today he's going to get in there, so watch out. Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail presented by Busch Beer, our very first Elite 50 tournament. Final day competition, period 2, hole number 1. Here is Brent Chapman.
Saw this yesterday when I didn't get to fish in this little part of this of hole number 1 here, because I actually didn't even know about this little place, and as we were pulling into hole number 2, I saw this little pocket and was like, man, I just missed a really good spot. So we're gonna make up for it today, I hope.
And you can see from Chapman's tracks right here that he's come out of hole number 6 at the end of the first period, and he goes all the way across to hole number 1. He ends up in the farthest corner before you can go into the next hole, which happens to be number 2.
There we go. That's a good one. Stay on there. Yeah! Finally. Told you we'd make up for that first hole. Well, what these fish are doing is they're hanging out in these little isolated clumps of grass, and they're just suspended underneath them, and some guys are actually swimming the jig by them, and the fish are just coming out and eating the bait as the bait goes by. And you know, like that one, I dropped it right through the center of it, and you know, you always hear those things called reaction strikes. That's exactly what happened. You drop it on their head, and they either have to get out of the way or they have to eat it, and bass typically don't like to get out of the way of things, especially smaller things. So hopefully we've kind of figured things out here now, and we can put another fish or 2 in the boat. There he is. Get out of there. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, come on. Come here, come here. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Finally a 4-pounder. Man. Like hitting one over the fence right there.
We can adjust for inflation, but I don't think that was a 4-pounder, but it did move him into contention, certainly. That is if Randy Howell lets there be a contest. You think Randy Howell can lose this thing at this point?
You know, Tommy, anything can happen. You've seen Randy Howell. He's a cool customer right now, and all of the confidence is behind him. But it's all in your attitude and your time management.
There we go. Looky there. Man, I swum that through there, and he just came up and inhaled it. Things can sure change in a hurry, can't they? What is it, 15 minutes now, and we've put 3 good ones in the boat. Look at that, he wasn't coming off either.
So they didn't like that bait I had the first time over here. They like this bait. I should have thrown this earlier over here. I had that feeling, I didn't listen. Goodness, that's awesome. I got 2 4-pounders, y'all. That's awesome. There's another one. Oh, yeah. Another good one. Another good one. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get off them rocks, baby. Yeah, baby. Get off them rocks and come to me. Come on. Oh, barely hooked. Please let him stay on.
You hear the expression barely hooked, whether they're barely hooked or not, right? Most of the time, fish?
Absolutely. And these guys will actually try to roll the crankbait back over so that they hook themselves again. And Randy Howell, just like he said earlier, he's babying these fish. He's loosening the drag, letting them go.
Oh, yeah, he rehooked himself. Yeah. Not big as I thought. He's a nice one. See that? When I run him sideways, if they turn sometimes, that other hook got him right there. That only one had him. Give me some. Appreciate y'all's support. Don't y'all pull for them other boys now when they come in here. You tell them that little skinny boy didn't do no good in here, all right?
Well, the skinny boy has a commanding lead at this point. Take a look right there, 6.5 pounds ahead of second place Brent Chapman. Brent Chapman, who did all his good work in about 15 minutes to jump all the way up into second place, a 0 in hole number 5. That's how Hackney got all the way down into 4th place. And Chapman has found himself a honey hole.
Yeah, his little honey hole is in hole number 1, and it's right here, this little pocket right here, which is right next to the boundary to hole number 2. So a lot of the anglers kind of zip across the boundary line, and they're in hole number 2, and they probably didn't even see this pocket. Wouldn't be surprised if that was the only time that was fished. It really served Brent Chapman well. Hole number 6 continues to intrigue me, though. Randy Howell, between day number 3 and this final day, has caught 8 keepers there all by himself, so no wonder he's running away with this thing. Or is he running away with it? Hey, period number 3 was really slow. I mean really slow. As a matter of fact, we're going to bypass it and go to period number 4, which is going to be pretty dramatic. One fish, though, in period number 3. Zell Rowland caught 150, will probably weigh 2 pounds. And, well, Kenyon Hill did have a fish as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're catching them large now, folks.
Yes, as reported, not much for period number 3, but hey, watch out for number 4. In fact, watch out for one of the most moving catches we have ever witnessed.
There you go.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail presented by Busch in the very first Elite 50 tournament. Round 1 in this series of 4 tournaments. We have 6 anglers out here on championship day. They are fishing a 6-hole course. Each angler gets an hour and 20 minutes in each hole. This is Zell Rowland of Texas.
I cannot keep them on the hook. I just want to scream. Oh, God almighty, what a day.
Zell Rowland, not a happy guy at this point. On the other hand, Randy Howell, a real happy guy, and part of the reason he's been scoring with that crankbait. What's the deal with that crankbait?
Crankbaits are common here on Dardenelle, but Randy Howell's got a special little bait. He sent it to us, and here it is. This thing is really cool for one super reason. Get ready. The bill on this bait is manufactured from a computer board in Knoxville, Tennessee. Dean Helton makes this bait, and it is a custom crankbait. You can't get them. Don't try. Unless you want to get Randy Howell's, and I'll sell it for the right price.
All right, now what's the deal with the board? Why has he got the computer board for a bill?
That thing won't break, Tommy. You can ram it and jam it into the rocks. The other plastic baits seem to come apart. This one, it's indestructible, and he's added red hooks, a little more attractive.
Can't tear it up on the riprap. Jerry, I know you got another one for us to look at under the water here, right?
But first, a trivia question.
All right.
Not for you guys, but for the audience out here. Our headquarters are in Russellville, Arkansas, but the little town right next to Russellville is Dardenelle, Arkansas, right on the banks of the lake. What prominent sports figure is from the little town of Dardenelle? Tommy Sanders will tell you before the end of the day, and I think you're going to be surprised. Now then, let me see that underwater footage. And we saw Randy Howell's crankbait. Let's take a look at his white jig with a trailer. And look at these guys. They are ripping them through that grass and around the brush. And normally you fish a jig slow. You bounce it off the bottom. Not today. These guys are moving that jig along. Now, Greg Hackney is fishing a green jig, not a white jig, and he is fishing his a little bit slower, but boy, he's about to catch Randy Howell here.
That no keep.
It is a keeper indeed, and it moves Greg Hackney on up the scoreboard.
Oh, jigfish. That's the first one I've caught in a while. It makes me feel a little better.
Well, maybe Greg Hackney has righted the ship. He's back into the number 3 spot, just 1 pound behind Brent Chapman. And his tracks show that he's moved down into hole number 1, where Chapman did so well, but he's fishing the riprap right before that, next to Highway 333.
Well, this race is really starting to come together, and it's starting to look like Howell, Chapman, and Hackney are going to be the guys to catch here.
Get in the boat, buddy. Get in here with old Daddy Rabbit. Pow!
We need to stay with Greg Hackney for a while. This guy is catching them steady and solid fish.
He is on fire, man, and he loves that jig. He's throwing it against that riprap, fishing it a little bit slower, a little bit deeper than you would expect. Not swimming it so fast.
Well, now we're going over to Zell Rowland. He's on the wrong side of this breakwater right here at our weigh-in site, right? We saw Randy Howell catch them all inside.
Absolutely, and you know, I don't know that many of the guys knew that Howell was going on the inside there, so it's going to be interesting to see, but Zell's got a good fish on right here. This could help him. Come on, Zell, get him in the boat. They take too long for me, Tommy.
Bingo. There he is. There he is. Stay on there.
Over to Brent Chapman. He has been quiet since that flurry. We saw him really take control of things back in hole number 1. And he's got it going one more time.
All I asked for was 1 bite out of here, and here we go.
Backlash in my kite string. Okay, I'm back, no kidding.
Speaking of guys who have been quiet for a while, Kenyon Hill, here he is. He says, you heard him say it, he's back now. So maybe he's going to catch a fish for us.
There's one, Tommy, right there. A big swing, and let's hope for a catch. Now he's swimming that jig. He's making a cast, and you can hear his reel handle actually cranking around because he's swimming this thing so erratically. It's swim, 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 and you just hear it. Listen to him.
For sure that one.
Kenyon Hill, 39 years old, 2 wins with the Citgo Bassmaster Tour. Most recently last year on the Alabama River, fishing a current situation there. He's been to 3 classics. He's had 15 top 10s, this man.
And you mentioned the event that he won, the tour last season. Won that on a jig. Just a different technique, though. That was hopping and bouncing it around the deeper rocks. And here is the big swim technique. He's got another great fish. Go Kenyon.
All right, that's a keeper. That will be his 4th fish, and that jumps him into 4th place. Kenyon Hill on the move.
How many is that? 1, 2, 3? 3, right?
Now that's 4 fish. Kenyon Hill, wake up. You're one of the Elite 50. Get that math right. Back to Greg Hackney, trying to make a big move. Already has 2 keepers off of this riprap, and watch out for this next fish.
Big un, big un. Oh, please be a bass. It's a big un. It ain't no drum, it's a bass. I know it is. Oh, it's a big bass. It's a big one. Oh, man. Stay hooked up, baby. Stay hooked up. Look at there. Whoa, come here. Come here. Whoa, whoa. That's what I'm talking about. Whoa. Godzilla ain't got nothing on me right now. Whoa! I kind of got excited. I couldn't help it, man. That just came out. I couldn't stop. That was awesome. I knew when I stuck her, I could tell it was big, and it didn't circle. When it didn't circle, I said, it's a bass, it's not a drum. Man, that's a powerful moment.
So for the first time today, the name atop the scoreboard changes. Greg Hackney, and this amazing catch. Now he's the man. Randy Howell fans, keep the faith. He has an answer.
Just making the Citgo Bassmaster Elite 50 ensures an angler of a busy schedule. But for one group of anglers, there's always time to do what is really
answer that honestly?
We'll tell you more when we return. Traveling across the country from one fishing hole to the next doesn't give the average Elite 50 angler much time for the little things. But for a group of men known as the Angel Anglers, it's the little things that demand part of their time. The Angel Anglers, led by Citgo Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindle, is a group of anglers who visit children's hospitals in the towns and cities they visit. And at every stop, these anglers not only bring their skills from the fishing arena, but pass along a special brand of healing power.
Anglers from the Citgo Bassmaster Tour. This is the Elite 50, round 1, the first in this 4-tournament series, and a 30-second period of time in hole number 1 has changed this entire event. Greg Hackney on top, Randy Howell out of first for the first time since the anglers went onto this course.
And here's something we haven't seen yet, a top water lure that Chapman is throwing in hole number 4.
He didn't even bite it. He just came up and touched it. Oh, he was little anyway. Quick release.
Well, hole number 4 is behind Interstate I-40, and if Chapman wants to catch up, he better pull a Hackney for us.
Get it! Get it! Got it! You just want to make it as tough as you can, don't you, there, fish? Stay on there. Yeah, I think he might make it. Man, he teased me there quite a few times.
That one right there makes a limit. 5 fish for Brent Chapman. Over to Kenyon Hill now. He's got 17 pounds and 8 ounces. That's his 2-day total so far.
He's going to make a run at this thing, too. Now, Tommy, don't count any of these guys out. Let's see what he's going to do right here. Come on, catch that fish, brother.
We got the math right. He was one shy of a limit the last time we saw him. That makes 5 fish now for Kenyon Hill.
5 for
Kenyon
sure
Hill
now.
pitching those jigs. He's very well versed with this technique. But again, he's swimming it really fast. Watch the fish come up and inhale that right off the top of the grass.
Boy, that is what Randy Howell needs right now. He's swimming his jig. His jig is white. He's only got 4 fish, so if he catches another one, it will be a significant upgrade for him.
There he is. This is a good one. Come on, let him stay on. This is a good one. This is a big one. I can feel his weight.
To win a BASS event, you have to catch fish in the clutch. Man, Randy Howell has done just that.
Woo! What about it, boys? That might have did it right there. Man, he caught me by surprise, too. Right when you get least expected. Whew, eat it up. That's another nice one. That's a 3 1/4, about 3 1/2.
Well, our totals are unofficial, but we now have Randy Howell up by 1 pound.
Oh, we got it now, baby. That's, we got it now. We got about, let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15. We probably got 15 1/2 or 16 pounds now. That means with a 3 pound lead, they'd have to catch, let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18. They'd have to catch 18 or 19 right now. So it's looking good for the home team.
Well, Randy Howell, who's moving into hole number 4, may be underestimating Greg Hackney, but we are in the bottom of the 9th inning, the 6th and final rotation. Randy Howell is in hole number 4, where, as a matter of fact, on day number 3, he caught 3 keepers. Greg Hackney is moving into 3, right behind Randy Howell. On day 3, he caught 0 keepers in his hole. However, there have been 4 keepers caught in hole number 3 today, and there has been 7 caught in hole number 4.
Well, man, do we have it teed up for our 6th and final period. Randy Howell moving into that productive hole. Greg Hackney on a rampage, 1 pound separating the 2 anglers.
And here's an interesting tidbit. Hackney has stopped swimming the jig. He's been fishing it more conventionally in the deeper water. Now, that's how he caught 3 fish on this riprap. And in the last hole, of course, that giant gorilla bass that he caught. So quit fishing the grass and stay on the rock, Hackney.
Just don't know. God, I got a crick in my neck. I don't know how I done that. I got in a bind.
Well, the crick in the neck has not hampered Greg Hackney. He's just tied Randy Howell. What a race we've got going on at the very first Elite 50.
Way I pretty well should have known not to do that because I haven't fished grass to get here. I got back in here, went back to fishing grass. But I knew there had been a lot of fish. You know, dominantly, that's how most of the fish had been caught during the tournament, was out of those grass beds. And I had found fish in practice in the grass beds, but the water fell out of them, you know. And yesterday the water was down, and this was textbook because, you know, the deal with this is when that water comes out of that grass, they move out because most of that grass is growing on flat banks. On these rocks, all he has to do is he can move 5 foot and be in exactly the same cover that he was in, you know, before the water. You know, so all they do more so is up and down instead of way out.
Well, if anybody can follow these fish up and down, it's Greg Hackney with the jig technique. Watch this guy.
There he is. I think it's a big one. It is. Oh! Dang, I thought he was stuck better than that. What the hell? Yeah. A sucker bit, too.
Unfortunately for Greg Hackney, that could have been big, but take a look at this. Watch the rod tip.
Okay, now there's the strike. Set the hook. Get him, Greg. Drive him back to the boat, baby. Tommy, I'm going to be honest with you. He did absolutely nothing wrong. He set the hook. It was probably just skin hooked on the fish, and out it comes. Oh, my. Could that have been the fish?
What a year. What a career. Through this year, we have seen Greg Hackney lose at least 3 fish that would have really changed his career, changed his life. This may have been another one. Over to Zell Rowland. Trying to get out of the cellar. That's where he started his day. But Greg Hackney, I tell you what, loses the Angler of the Year title by 3 points. Could be another disappointment for him right here. Back over to Kenyon Hill, kind of battling Zell Rowland for that cellar position. Yeah! That is the fourth keeper today, the 12th over both days that we have seen taken off the inside of this riprap here in hole number 6.
And that's the square bill crankbait again. Not made out of a computer chip. Could damage that. Got to be careful, Kenyon.
One last look at this course, Illinois Bayou, that has entertained us royally over the past 2 days of competition here at Lake Dardenelle.
Well, it's still a good day. I've got me my 5, so let's go see what everybody else did.
Well, in our first Elite 50, I think professional bass fishing was represented quite well by our 6 finalists today. Our winner will come from either Randy Howell or Greg Hackney, and in the last 15 minutes of this event, Greg suffered this crushing blow. And that record crowd getting ready to find out who will go down in history as the first E-50 champion. Don't go away. The weigh-in is coming up.
Hackney and Jordan and those boys got to catch them real good today. And if they do, it's meant to be. But if they don't, I'm going to finally win my first Bassmaster tournament. I'm tickled to death.
The Citgo Bassmaster Tournament Trail is brought to you by Citgo. And in part by Busch Light. By Berkeley Tri-League. And by Lowrance.
Lake Dardenelle State Park, Russellville, Arkansas, the beautiful scene. The weather is perfect, and about 7,500 people show up for the weigh-in here to decide the winner of the very first Elite 50 tournament. Zell Rowland of Texas started in 6th, had his chances, but could only manage 5th place with 19.5. Oklahoma's Kenyon Hill. It was a lot of fun watching him swim that jig really fast today. Couldn't get the big ones in the boat, 22.11 for 4th place. Brent Chapman of Kansas had a big flurry early on in this final day. 24.10, he winds up in 3rd place. Kelly Jordan of Texas, he fades today. 6th place, 17 pounds and 8 ounces. So there are 2 anglers left. One of them will be the winner. Will it be Greg Hackney or Randy Howell?
This is your Bassmaster Rookie of the Year. Welcome, Greg Hackney! Weight 17 pounds, 11 ounces, Greg Hackney! Watch it. Could be the biggest bass of the event. It is 6 pounds and 10 ounces. There you go, the largest bass of competition.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. You know, I don't know. I hope it continues. I hope the flame just gets bigger and bigger.
Warm it up in the house for Randy Howell! All right, Hackney, get up here, brother. Let's watch this thing. You ready? He's looking for 14.12. Watch the weight. 15 pounds and 9 ounces. Randy Howell, your champion. Your first title, baby. How does it feel?
Oh, it's awesome. I knew I wouldn't be able to talk if I won. That's the bad thing. I get tore up pretty bad. It's taking me. Triton and Mercury are so awesome. They stuck with me. They've helped me get here. And Berkeley and all my sponsors. And it took me 11 years on the Bass Tour to finally win. And God is awesome. That's all I can say.
Oh, my. I would like to bring up the governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, with your trophy presentation. Your Elite 50 champion, Russellville, Arkansas. Randy Howell.
Lots of fireworks up in the air and plenty of fireworks on the water today as well, and it was Randy Howell who survived the big barrage from Greg Hackney. Randy has been waiting for those fireworks for a long time.
We have a great winner. That may even mess his hair up somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mr. Flat Top.
Let's take a look at the order of finish. Of course, the order of finish right there with Randy Howell on top is going to be the points order for this very first Elite 50 event. And what an event it was, Jerry. What a day, this final day.
I love the course.
The course was great. It was exciting.
Illinois Bio was fantastic, and there were 35 keepers caught on the course today. That's pretty good. Number 5 on day number 3 was the worst hole. I think there was 4 fish caught there. Doubled up today. There were 8 fish taken out of hole number 5. It was the best hole.
Boy, one day makes a big difference. Our Purelator big bass of the tournament. There it is right there. Greg Hackney, that big one today, 6 pounds and 10 ounces. As far as the Bush Shootout goes, well, we did not have a single day limit of fish that was big enough to qualify for our year-end Bush Shootout. At the top of that list remains Kelly Jordan, that big bag he caught at Santee Cooper Lake, 32 pounds and 2 ounces. Ben Matsubu, the guy on the bubble with the 2310 from Lake Eufaula. Man, some good stuff. And our next one coming up from the Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway over there in Alabama.
May the 19th, the folks in Columbus need to get ready. The whole E-50 gang will be down there. Please come out and see us. We're going to have, well, we're just going to do this whole thing over again.
Yeah, it's good, strong stuff. You really need to be there for that. May 29th, full coverage right here of that Elite 50 event. And our trivia question, John Daly is the guy that comes from Lake Dardenelle, Arkansas.
I didn't know that.
I did know
you
that.
Fish didn't know it.
Fish knew it, too. And thanks to Fish for being here as well, Fish. But we'll see you next time.
Woo!
What about it, boys? Oh, yeah. Oh, we're catching them large now, folks. Mr. Green Sunfish.
Look at that, baby. Don't that make you want to get
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to Bassmaster.com.